I'm Harry Rock, and welcome to another edition of the Westville Council on Aging Presents. This is a special collaborative program with Michael Squindo, who is the new Executive Director of the Westville Senior Center, and Tina Gorman as well, working with him at the Senior Center, and Pete Coles, producer of WCPC Westville Cable Channel 15. Our topic today is the Westville Athenaeum Outreach Services, and I'm really excited to have in the studio with me today Sarah Abada-Marco, who is the outreach librarian at the Athenaeum. So Sarah, welcome to the studio. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Harry. This is great.
Yeah. So I always like to give our viewers an opportunity to learn a little bit about who my guest is for the day, and just a little bit about where you grew up and how long have you been involved in library Athenaeum services, and what brought you to Westfield?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Cosmos brought me to Westfield. I've been working in libraries for maybe about 5 years now, just wrapping up my MLS degree in library science.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have just a month to go, basically.
Oh, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been great. I love it. And so, I've been with Westfield Athenaeum just about 6 months now. And prior to working in the library field, I've worked in education, I've worked in museums. So I think my wealth of experience is really lending itself to this role in outreach.
Oh, very, very cool. Well, we're going to be talking all about the wide range of services and programs that are available to seniors and people in general who are certainly recovering from surgery and lack of transportation, mobility issues. So let's talk about your specific responsibilities. What exactly, when you look at your job description, and then what you found you're really doing, that's always two different things sometimes, but what do you find your role has you involved in every day when you come to work?
Sure. That's a joke, not only in the library field, but also in the museum world. Often at the end of a job description, you'll see other duties as assigned.
As assigned, right.
But that's what keeps it interesting.
Right.
Yes, as the outreach librarian, one of my largest tasks is running the homebound delivery service program. And so that's literally me picking books off the shelf, fulfilling specific requests that patrons have, whether that's authors they like or specific books they've been waiting for. Literally packing them up, taking them out in the golden Subaru, and bringing them to their doors. Within that too, there's a lot of reader's advisory that happens. It's kind of some library jargon for you, but that just basically means helping folks find something they'd like to read, perhaps based on something they know they already enjoyed reading.
So when they call you, you'll give them suggestions and...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just talk about things they've enjoyed, offer similar authors, or maybe even something that they hadn't considered before that you think they might enjoy. So then, in addition to that, also, we do a lot of reader's advisory at the reference desk when people just walk in looking for assistance. And you can often find me on the reference desk in the mornings at the Athenaeum, just covering the desk, providing services, copies, faxing, all that good stuff. Yeah, and then I also run programs. So that's like the in-house component of the outreach services, right? I work with getting authors, musicians. I run crafternoons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Now, do you have your own office at the Athenaeum?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
A corner of an office. I share my space with the wonderful folks in tech services, Greg and Emma.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Shared services, absolutely.
Yep.
So why is outreach such an important function of the Athenaeum? And any idea how long this has been offered by the Athenaeum?
So I was asking my colleagues recently, knowing this question would be coming up, and in specific terms, in the homebound delivery service, somebody thought it had been something we've offered for almost 20 years now.
Oh, wow,
where
really?
we physically go out in a vehicle and deliver.
Wow.
Yeah, and you might see the golden Subaru out on the streets of Westfield.
I know that well. Yeah, the little Subaru. I see it driving around.
The little Subaru that could. But in terms of just outreach in general, it's the core of what a library does, right? At least you might say outside of the library walls. We're just striving to continue to provide services beyond our we have many walls, reaching folks who can't get to the library through their own means for whatever reason.
I think that's an important concept, that the library of the Athenaeum services doesn't just exist within those four walls. And if you can't
Absolutely.
get there, sorry, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
But this idea that it does get out, and I think that any organization that doing important work needs to think about the fact that we need to be outside our walls. We need to be
Right.
reaching as many people as we can, and not just within the people that show up every day.
Absolutely.
So, that's really, really interesting. In 20 years, I hadn't realized it had been going on that long.
Yeah.
The range of where you go, is it into the hill towns, or is it just really within Westfield itself?
Just Westfield.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, all over Westfield.
Okay. And the idea, but we service people from all over. It's not just Westfield community or people or Westfield residents. Is that right?
Sure. So the distinction is I'll deliver only to folks in Westfield, but Westfield Athenaeum is part of a consortium. We're part of CW Mars. It's a network of libraries. So what that means is if a resident of Westfield with a library card is looking for a certain book or DVD, whatever it is, that we don't have on our shelves, we can get it from another library for them.
So what does CW Mars stand for? Is that an acronym?
It is, what was
Oh,
it?
maybe
Commonwealth. Yeah, I'm not great with acronyms. There's so many in the library
it's a
field.
Commonwealth, so it's statewide.
I believe so, yeah. Well, actually, in Massachusetts, and I'm from Connecticut, so I've had to learn this myself recently joining the team here. This network we're part of is Central and Western Massachusetts. Out near Boston, they have their own library network.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So we're just Central and Western.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Wow. But you feel that this is really important, that libraries need to have this kind of a function in order to really meet the needs of any community.
Absolutely. I think it's crucial, in fact.
And do most libraries offer this as a service?
Yeah, it's pretty popular these days.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah, and it's funny I say that it's popular these days, but it's been popular for several decades. Some folks might remember there used to be bookmobiles.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And they still exist in some places,
right.
Where it would be like a full bus sometimes, and folks can just hop on the bus and literally browse the shelves on the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess to a small degree, I see a lot of churches and schools, even the YMCA, they have these little
free libraries, they call them.
Free library,
yeah.
right. And so that's kind of like an outreach in its own realm.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's gained a lot of popularity in more recent years compared to like a bookmobile.
Right.
And even folks, there's one in my neighborhood, where you can construct your own.
Oh, is that right?
Put it, facing the street
Right.
so folks walking by can grab something to read. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. As I was listening to you talking about the fact that you kind of help people decide what topics to read, you must be, and all of your colleagues must be very well read yourselves. You must read constantly to know what's out there or to know what's available.
Yeah, I won't speak for others. I think certainly that's a stereotype of librarians that we're all well-read. And it's a stereotype I think a lot of us embrace, but others may, tread more cautiously because it's less about our personal expertise, and I may be just sharing my personal beliefs here, and more about tuning into what the patron you're working with is after. Mm-hmm. You might love Stephen King, shall we say, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the right fit for the person you're talking to.
Right,
so
that's true.
Especially if you studied library science, one of the goals in that and a focus in that study is being able to have an interview, such as we are now, with the patron and really listen to what their needs and interests are, to tease out what would make then a good suggestion for them.
Oh, that's
a little bit of a science.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. So, who do you provide services for? Is there Is there a profile that you kind of see, or is it anyone and everyone, all ages? Who do you find yourself providing services to?
Yeah, I think traditionally it's safe to say that these services, at least the homebound delivery, has skewed more towards the senior population.
Sure.
But that doesn't preclude, delivering to anybody of any age for any reason. Truly. I don't know that we've done that this in this community, but sometimes I've read other libraries will provide delivery service even to busy, frazzled parents, right, who may not be able to get to the library for whatever reason. We could bring children's books.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Why not? I'm not going to rule that out personally as the one who's
Right.
doing the delivering.
Right.
But again, as you mentioned earlier, it could just be someone who's recently had a surgery, and they just know they'll be kind of out of commission for a few weeks or a month, and they need something to entertain themselves,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I'd say, we don't want to have too narrow a vision or scope on who we're serving. If you have a question on that, you're welcome to contact me.
And so that's a great lead-in. So how do people get in touch with you? Do they have to talk to you directly, or do they do it online?
Yeah, I like to have a little conversation with anybody who's interested in delivery service.
Okay.
So you can call the library and they'll put you in touch with me. You could start by emailing me if you wanted to, and I'll give you a call. It's very open.
Okay, but it's best to have a one-on-one conversation just to
Yeah.
get a feel for what they're looking for
Sure.
and how best to find them.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then, it's funny, I was just thinking about this as you were talking about driving around in the little Subaru. It must be challenging to find some of these places where they live. MapQuest must get a good workout in your car.
Yeah, I use Google Maps. This is not a plug, but it's very nice. You can just organize your route on there.
Oh, because you're doing multiple stops.
Yeah.
It's like being a mail person,
Kind of.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I go out every Tuesday.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that's just sort of the established routine, that's not set in stone. But so far, I go out every Tuesday afternoon. And I have only recently reworked the different routes because I have 3 weeks worth of routes now. And I organize them. I guess I'm very type A. I organize them, I basically developed a quadrant of Westfield. So I go basically like to the north, one day, and to the southeast another day.
Oh, I see.
Just to
Okay,
be
so
more
you're really
efficient.
looking at, if someone called, I'll go out there and come back. So
Right.
you're really making multiple stops.
Oh, yeah.
It must take you a while because Westfield's a huge
Yeah.
city land-wise. So
Yeah, I've discovered that.
I think we're the second or third largest community in Westfield land-wise.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
We're around 47 or 49 square miles, something of
Yeah.
that nature. It's really large.
Yeah. And while I do have that schedule developed, if anybody calls me and it turns out they need something when it's not their week, or I just had someone call me this morning looking for some books for this week and weekend,
Okay.
I'll come by. No big deal, just let me know and I'll make it work.
Oh, that's really, really, really cool. So let's talk about the materials that you have, and what is there any one thing that people look for more than another, or is it all over the place? Has it shifted because of media choices now versus just books?
Yeah, well, being in this role for just about almost 6 months now, I don't know that I can speak to any longer trends in the delivery service. But since I've been in this role, it's really primarily been books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some
Oh,
folks
interesting.
get DVDs, but pretty much anything that circulates, I can deliver.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you need to know what you have in circulation. So when you're talking to them, I'm guessing it's all computerized, I'm guessing, as to what do we have,
Sure.
and then is it in or is it out with somebody else?
Right.
And then keeping track of when it's going to be back.
Right. Yeah. Typically, you want to stay away from offering newer titles because they'll have a holds list. A lot of people clamoring to get their hands on the item, like the new But they're really, if there's a certain author someone's expressed interest in, yeah, I'll hop into our catalog. Again, that's with CW Mars, and I'll see how many titles are available. Not only just within the Athenaeum walls, but within the network.
Okay.
And so it does take some planning, because if I know that Cindy next Tuesday is expecting, the latest Macomber book, or whomever, I may have to place an order on that in advance to have it available in my hands to deliver to her on her day. But again, I'm pretty flexible. If someone's waiting for something and it shows up, just talk to me and we'll work it out. I'll come by and bring it to you.
I was going to say, and I'm sure you've gotten stuck at times where you're waiting for a book to come in and you expect it to come in and you've promised it, and then it doesn't come in because people decide to renew it or whatever.
Yeah, so far I haven't experienced too much of an issue around that. But folks are also just so grateful to have something delivered. They don't hold me to any promises.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking about this, and especially with seniors especially ones that are homebound, they don't get a lot of outside exposure
Sure.
or stimulation. They must just enjoy having you come, period, just as an outside person to come and talk to.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely find that to be an element of this work that I really enjoy. Just chatting with people. They'll give me some tips about Westfield, or share memories with me, or
Oh, really?
anything.
So it's
yeah.
not just drop and run. I'm sorry, here it is. I'm out of here. I got to get to the next stop. But you actually can spend some time sometimes with some
Well,
of these people. Not a lot, but
Unfortunately, not too much time.
because you've got to keep moving. But
kind
I'm
of.
sure they still like to create that personal
Yeah.
relationship,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, I think that's a
And
really
then
important component.
Do you find that you're getting repeat business, so to speak? People call now they know you. You've got a relationship with them, and you have a better feel for how to serve them, and they look forward to seeing you because they've gotten to know you.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question. I don't know some of my current delivery folks. I don't know how long some of them might have been using this service, but I would bet that for a few of them, it's a few years already.
Okay.
Some folks really do rely on this service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Is there a cost to this program? Do people have to pay for this, or is this free?
It's totally free.
Totally free.
Having a library card is free. Having me deliver to you is free.
Wow. And getting the library card, there's no charge. So
Correct.
anybody can join the library.
Yep.
And that's a simple process?
Yep. Basically, you just need a Westfield address to have a Westfield Athenaeum library card.
Oh, okay, a Westfield address.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you live in another town or city, you would contact that library to get a card through that library.
Okay.
But then you would look for a delivery service with that home library, not
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do they have to come in to get that card, or can they do that online or over the phone?
Just over the phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If anybody contacts me, I can essentially take their information. If I need to see an ID when I visit them for the first time, so be it, we can do that. But it's pretty flexible.
Yeah, so that's so you're basically one-stop shopping. They can call you, and you can help get their library card taken care of, and then take their order,
Absolutely.
and then it's within a week or so that you get. How soon do they expect to see their delivery once they make their order?
It really depends. If someone expresses some sort of urgency, I aim to please. My heart goes out to anyone who is longing for something to read, shall we say.
Okay,
I don't want
you'll
anyone
make
to
it
be
happen,
waiting.
even though it's on the schedule. Okay,
Right.
this day we're up in the southwest corner, and this day
Right.
we're in the southeast corner.
Right.
It doesn't always have to happen that
No,
way.
yeah. I'm very understanding about that.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then can people, let's talk about renewal. So they're reading it, and they found they didn't get through it. They want to relook at something.
Yeah.
Can they renew?
Certainly, especially if someone lets me know that it's an item they want to renew, I can look in our system, check if there aren't any holds, and perform my due diligence, so as to not prevent it from getting in the hands of the next person who's been waiting, but also to keep the person who still has it happy. You know, we'll work with you on that.
And are there multiple copies of all the items that you have, or is it just like you have one of each?
It depends. It certainly depends. Again, that's a great thing about being part of a consortium or a network. If we don't have a copy available, we'll check the greater network and see where we can pull one from. A lot of times, if we were to have multiple copies of something, it may be like one of those bestseller type works. But you know, if you're accustomed to regular print books and that copy's not available, I might encourage you to try a large print or an audiobook, you know, book on CD. These are other options we have.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and I just got thinking about, especially in today's world where we're so concerned about security, you have an ID that you show people until they get to know you.
Absolutely. So I tend to wear my name badge for one thing.
Okay.
I always have my business card on me.
Okay. So.
And I think it helps too that the vehicle is branded. You know,
so they see the vehicle, right?
Yep. I keep talking about the golden Subaru, but on 3 sides of the vehicle, it clearly says Westfield Athenaeum Outreach Services.
Right.
So.
Okay,
Yeah.
so people can know that it's not a scam or they have to worry about anything illegal going on. And when they see you coming, between your name badge and the car, I think the car especially, you can assume that this is on the upright. And in today's world, you have to be really concerned about that for sure.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Right. And again, when people call for their order, to your point, it can be fits in a schedule or when you are going to be in a basic area, so it can be fairly quick.
Yeah.
And is there an online option to create an order with you, or is it strictly by calling?
We don't have an online form set up at this time. Maybe that's something we can develop in the future.
Okay.
But calling is great. Otherwise, folks are welcome to email me too.
And also, they could email you with what they want.
Yeah.
They could call, and if you're not in the office, they can just leave a voice message.
Oh, absolutely.
So they don't have to feel like they've got to get you in person.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
No. I may have follow-up questions, you know, where I'll reach back out to the person just to make sure they're getting what they want. And like you sort of said earlier, that I go to the right door at their residence, you know, because that's another common factor. There could be 3 doors on the house, and you're thinking, well, which one is ideal for this person?
I have to believe that it must get tricky for you finding, you know, right driveway or apartment buildings, or that's you probably get to know Westfield as well as the firemen and
maybe
the police do in the community, because you're around everywhere.
Right, maybe, yeah. Well, you know, my predecessor, Becky Blackburn, who is now the head of adult services.
Okay.
She took me out on the routes when I first started.
Oh, she did.
Showed me the ins and outs of the existing patrons at that time.
Okay.
You know. But as I've gotten some new patrons, I make sure to ask them, like, which door do you want me to go to?
Oh, that's an important, right, because they've got multiple doors.
Sure.
Right.
Is there anything unique about your driveway or your street?
Right.
You know, and they'll tell me. So.
Yeah. How many, I just raised a question, how many patrons do you think you have that you service?
Right now, it's around 40.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it fluctuates here and there. Sometimes people move. Different issues arise.
And are they really from all over the entire city, or do you find most of them are like downtown, or?
A good number are downtown. Several are sort of in the northern end of town. Far fewer, I would say, on the eastern side.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but
right.
all are welcome. So
all are welcome, right?
Yeah.
And you have, there's a web page on the Athenaeum website that describes what you have for services and how people can get involved. So very easy to find information.
Lots of information on our
that.
website. Yeah.
Right. Wow. And you always deliver during basically daylight hours. right. So it's in
definitely.
the afternoon or so when it's accessible for people.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they're not home, you can just leave it as well?
Yeah, so what happens is basically every Tuesday morning, I call the folks I'm planning on delivering to that afternoon.
Oh,
I
okay.
confirm, I'm coming to see you today at 1 o'clock.
Oh, that's important, right?
Absolutely. And it's up to them if they want to leave a bag for me, and then I swap out the new bag. We have like just black canvas bags that have a zipper.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. So you're not just carrying it out in the weather and
Right.
stuff. Oh, all right.
And so I could just drop off their new bag and take their old bag.
Oh,
You
okay.
know.
So if they're not available, if they're not feeling well,
Sure.
they don't have to make a connection,
Yeah.
so to speak. It's,
Absolutely.
just leave it outside the door. Oh, that's an important consideration.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, very, very interesting. And again, I know I was going to ask, is there, people can do this forever, essentially. There's no limit, like, oh, you only get 3 visits from Sarah and you're done with, with the program.
You filled your punch card.
Yeah, your punch card is over, right?
No, I mean, I think that's another beautiful thing about library service. Unlike so many things in our modern world, it's so open and accessible. And like I said before, we aim to please. There's no quota. You can't fill up. You can't fill up on library services.
I love that attitude. We aim to
going,
please. I love that. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And do people generally renew their order or create a new order every week?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them like every week, or is it every couple of weeks, or how often?
Just to be able to, provide service to as many folks as I can, we try to keep it, currently the rotation is I deliver to individuals every 3 weeks.
Oh, every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I were to deliver to you, Harry, today, I wouldn't see you for another 3 weeks.
Got it. Okay.
But if you called me and asked for something, I'd make a side visit, no problem.
Oh, okay. So
you
you
know?
can make the accommodation. So people generally, they're thinking about, okay, 3 weeks, I need a
Right.
book a week or 2 books a week.
Oh,
or-
sure.
So they'll.
Yep.
How big an order can you bring? What's the
Some
largest you've seen?
folks, yeah, because some people are voracious readers, right? And we don't want to curtail that by any means. So some folks I deliver 10 or 15 books to, to last them the 3-week period.
10 or 15 books?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with the CW Mars, so if somebody calls you and you say, I'm sorry, we don't have that, you go on your system and say, but I can get it for you. How long does it take CW Mars to get it to you? How fast
Great
is
question.
their rotation?
It's usually about a week.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's a holiday like this week, you might want to factor that in. It might be slightly longer than 1 week, naturally. But it's typically about a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they fall outside your rotation, you say, well, I've got 14 of the 15 that you want. I'll get those to you, and then I'll make a special trip the following week with the other one. Or...
It's up to the individual. Some folks are happy to wait.
Oh, okay.
They know if it's a bestseller or if it was like a book that was on the Today Show. They know people are clamoring for it, so they're content to wait for their turn.
And, of course, I don't know. I know we have a lot of books in the Athenaeum, because when I walk in there, there's shelving everywhere. But do you find that for most of the orders that you take, that we have them in stock, or do you have to go out to the CWMR system to find them?
I would say, actually, for the most part, I'm pulling from our shelves at the Athenaeum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that speaks well of what we have to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think our team does a great job of selecting, when
Right.
they're placing orders for new books, and, being aware of what our patrons are interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that during staff meetings, you must be talking to your colleagues about what you're seeing demand for or not, maybe not. But is there a system by which the Athenaeum determines what books are going to buy? They buy books every year, correct?
Oh, yeah. Monthly we place orders.
Every order, so monthly. So you need to know what to order.
Mm-hmm.
Is that partially based on what you see requests coming in from people?
Sure, absolutely. Talking to patrons is invaluable
Okay.
to build a sense of what we should be ordering. Different staff members manage different parts of the collection. as you might imagine, fiction and certainly nonfiction are kind of huge parts of the library collection. So those are divided up among staff. I manage the large print. As you might imagine, a lot of my population requests large print.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So a given book could be normal print of, I don't know, what is it, 10 or 12 point type?
Sure,
Is
yep.
that what the standard is?
I think so.
And then they also produce the book in large print as well?
Yep.
So you can get, so now you have
Yep.
to have both?
Different variations. Yeah, it's very helpful
I never
to
thought
have
about that.
different.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, the different sizes on hand. Yeah, even, at my age, a large print I would not say no to because it could help ease eye strain, right? Certainly even if you work on a computer all day long, every day, you want to do what you can to reduce the eye strain.
So what typeface are they going up to? If 10 or
Oh,
12 is normal, are they
gee.
going up to like 18 or 20? Or I don't know how big is...
no, maybe it's 14 or 16.
Okay, but
type.
just a little bit larger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that gives me a sense of what that's all about.
Yeah.
And again, you said that people are just so grateful. They must just love seeing you come with the little old Subaru.
I hope
She's here.
so.
She's here.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I have some patrons who call me, sometimes a couple times a week asking for certain titles that they saw on TV or that they read about somewhere.
Oh, they'll call a couple of times a week.
Oh, yeah. And, they'll say, sorry to bother you. And I'm like, it's no bother. This is what I'm here for. Call me. Tell me what you want. Let's make it happen.
I love that attitude. That's awesome. Service delivery.
That's right.
That's outstanding. So how can people get in touch with you? Let's talk about your phone number and your email.
Yep. Let's see. Did I have my card in my pocket? Well, I don't have it memorized, but you can.
But I actually can.
Yeah,
but I'll help you out with this because I actually put it on my notes.
Perfect.
So the number for the Athenaeum and her extension is 413-568-7833, and her extension is 111. Couldn't be any easier. Again, that's 413-568-7833, extension 111. And her voicemail will pop up if she's not there. I've called the office, so I know that myself. And her email, so you're going to need a pen for this. I'll say it twice to give you a chance to get a little piece of paper and a pen. So I'm just waiting for you to get that piece of paper and a pen. Here we go. It's SABBATEMARCO at Westath. That's WESTATH.org. I'll give that to you one more time. SABBATEMARCO at WSTATH.org. And if you didn't get that, if you just go on their website, one of the drop-down tabs, there was a staff tab, and there you can find Sarah's contact information, both with her office number, her extension, and her email. So if you didn't get that written down, don't worry about it. Just go online and you can find it. Or just call the library directly at their main number and just ask for her. Just ask for the reference library, not the reference, the outreach library.
Anyone can help
and
you.
they'll get you there.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that you must work with your other colleagues in helping to determine what kinds of offerings we have or what we need to be offering and that type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's important to be aware of what's going on throughout the various departments in the library, being aware even of what materials are on the general hold shelf for all the patrons who love to place holds and then stop at the circulation desk and get their hold, to have a sense of what people are interested in.
Right.
And, our circulation staff is also invaluable, being sort of the front line in the building. They know what goes on day in and day out, right? So, yeah, that's definitely an important part of our work. I think teamwork is essential.
Yeah, love that. So I think we've really talked about quite a bit here. Is there anything else that you can think of that we haven't discussed that we should share with our viewers before we wrap up?
Well, as I drove into Southwick today and then Westfield, noticing the dusting of snow on the ground.
Oh, right. Yeah, we had about 2 inches at my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had plowable snow, actually.
Oh,
The plows
wow.
were out on the
Oh, my
roads.
goodness.
Right.
I suppose it would be smart to mention that if there are ever, large enough storms that would interfere with delivery, I would just move it to another day.
Oh, okay, that's a great
So,
distinction, right?
yeah.
Because of weather, sure.
Yeah, and I would be in communication with my delivery patrons and let them know what to expect.
Okay.
You know.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like I said, we just try to be flexible and make it happen.
I love it. Love that attitude once again. Flexible and make it happen. Very service driven. So Sarah Abadamarco, thank you very much. Outreach librarian for the Westfield Athenaeum. Really interesting interview. Thank you so much for coming in today. And I would urge all of our viewers to take advantage. If you haven't taken advantage of the outreach services at the Athenaeum, you should really do that because they have everything, books, audiobooks, magazines, puzzles, music, CDs, DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
They've got it all. And if they can't provide it directly through what they have on the shelves, they can get it through the CWMR's program. So again, just make sure that you give a call to the Athenaeum and ask for her, or you'll send her an email, go on their website. You can find all the contact information right there. But definitely take advantage of everything that they have, especially when the weather is bad or if you've been coming off and you're rehabbing from an injury or from surgery or something of that nature, and you need just something to do and something to read, something to kind of keep yourself occupied other than just watching TV. The Westfield Athenaeum can provide all of those services, and they are happy and ready to do it. So, Sarah, I want to thank you so much for coming in. And on behalf of Pete Coles, who is our WCPC Westfield Cable Channel 15 manager and producer, thank you, Pete, for doing everything you can to make sure that this program is available every month. And on behalf of Tina Gorman and our new Executive Director, Michael Squindo, I am Harry Rock. It has been another edition of the Westfield Council on Aging Presents on WCPC Westfield Cable Channel 15. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next month. Thanks.